Hey everyone, and welcome back to TowerGate. It is day 62, May the 4th, 2017, Thursday. Yes, it's kind of a cloudy, rainy, overcast day here in southern Ohio in FEMA District 5, Region 39E. So if it's a little dark on the video today, that's why. It's just a very kind of dark, cloudy day, and I just pretty much use natural lighting for my video, so hopefully it's not too dark. So I'm going to do two videos today. I'm going to do one video I'm just going to touch on. It'll be a very short video on the TowerGate update of what's happening today, which is not a whole lot, but I got a couple things for you. And then I'm going to do a video which I'm going to do my analysis of the James Comey hearing in the Senate yesterday. And that will be slightly more entertaining for you, I can assure you that. So let's get right to TowerGate for day 62. I am going to be providing a link for you, and that link is to the it's the link to a webpage that shows you the letter that was sent to the House Intelligence and Senate Intelligence committees from Susan Rice, actually from her attorneys. So you can read the letter that Susan Rice's attorney has sent to the House and Senate Intelligence committees, and essentially you can read the letter for yourself. It's quite entertaining, but I'll give you the gist of it. And it basically says that Susan Rice will not be appearing at the Senate hearings because when John McCain asked her to appear, apparently they only gave her 2 weeks' notice. Not enough for Susan Rice. She needs more than 2 weeks' notice. Also, there's one Democrat that's not going to be present. Therefore, she feels it will not be a bipartisan hearing. Also, she is stating that she will not do an open hearing. She will only do what she calls a classified briefing, and that means closed door. She doesn't want to go in front of the public, in front of the TV cameras, and be questioned. Remember, Susan Rice is the person who we know unmasked the conversations between Trump and, well, we don't know for sure if it was Trump personally, but people around Trump. And of course, we know that the way the NSA works, they go on 3 levels when they put you under surveillance, which means they've probably got Trump. He was not the target, but he's probably caught up in that surveillance. She was the one that unmasked it and allowed it to be disseminated throughout all the intelligence agencies. So Susan Rice is not going to testify in front of the Senate, because she says they didn't give her enough notice. Now, on the House side, she had plenty of notice. So she has no way to use that excuse to get out of the House Intelligence Committee hearings, but she is suggesting that it would only be if it is bipartisan and it's done in a classified setting, meaning closed door. Now, yesterday, Trey Gowdy was being interviewed, and he was asked about this. And he suggested that both the House and the Senate, they can do it, he said, the easy way or the hard way. They ask her to come volunteer to provide the information and answer the questions. And I think he means in an open committee session. He said she can do it that way, or they can do it the other way, which is the subpoena. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see if Susan Rice actually appears without a subpoena, or we'll see if she shows up and they have to subpoena her, and we'll see if she does it in front of an open session or a closed session. I just get the impression that Trey Gowdy is not happy about the fact that she wants to do it in a classified setting, because I'm sure there's a lot of questions they have for her, and a lot of it has nothing to do with the disclosure of classified information. It has to do with things that she did, which would have nothing to do with classified. So, obviously, she knows that just like Hillary Clinton, when she did her interview, she knows it's going to be very embarrassing for her at the very least. And that would be my guess. So, Susan Rice, Trey Gowdy, by the way, said they've got about 100 witnesses. And you can expect that they're all going to play this exact game. They're going to try to drag it out, use every possible maneuver that they can to throw a wrench in the spokes, to delay this thing, to avoid having to testify in open session. So they're going to stonewall the very best they can, which is why I tell you this thing could drag on for a very long time. And that's why I think that we may see things come out in civil court cases. The one that's being launched against Christopher Steele and BuzzFeed by Mr. Gubarev. And ultimately, if Trump and his attorney get frustrated, they might just go ahead and file that civil suit anyway, because this could take a very long time. You can drag these things out. And this is a classic Clinton strategy. The Clintons would do the same thing back in the 90s. They would obstruct and delay and obstruct and delay and drag things forever. And in fact, when they left office after 8 years, they had to set up a legal defense fund, because a lot of the things that they were able to delay and put off were still around after his 8 years as president. They still had years and years of legal issues because of things, actually things that even had happened even before he became president, things that were carried over from his Arkansas days as governor. So these types of tactics you can use if you got enough money. You can drag these things out for a very long time. You get the impression from Trey Gowdy that he's not really interested in any of that, and they may use subpoenas and bring as much pressure as they can. It certainly doesn't look good. I mean, the public, what the public thinks when they see this type of thing is they think, well, the person must be guilty because they don't want to come in and talk. And that's exactly probably is the case. So let's see, the next item up. Comey, James Comey. I will be doing a video shortly, and I will be analyzing his performance yesterday in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee, where, as we know, if you watched it or heard anything about it, it dealt very little with the main topic that I am focused on, which is the TowerGate issue, the surveillance by the Obama administration of Trump and his campaign with the intent to destroy his candidacy and later his presidency. Very little of anything having to do with that was actually discussed in that hearing. Very, very little. It was mostly stuff about emails and all that, which I'll get into in the next video. But James Comey will be coming back next week, I believe next Thursday, a week from today. And according to the Senate Intelligence Committee website, he will be specifically dealing with his dealings with Christopher Steele and the dossier. So we are going to have Comey back next week, and that particular hearing will be focusing on his relationship with Christopher Steele and the dossier. And so we'll have to see what comes out of that, but at least ways we'll move a little bit closer, and there's certainly some questions that I certainly hope are asked at that hearing. Okay, that's pretty much all on TowerGate that's really worth mentioning today. Of course, there's closed session hearings going on. We haven't heard anything whether or not those hearings happened yesterday. There's nothing on it. I searched on it for an hour, couldn't find anything. But Rogers and Brennan were supposed to be in a closed-door session yesterday. Nothing about it. So I don't know if they showed up or if they didn't show up or anything like that. Maybe something will leak, but whatever. No word on exactly what happened there. Sally Yates will be testifying on Monday, and that will be an open hearing. Of course, she's the acting attorney general that Trump fired because she wouldn't go along with the travel ban, and she apparently is also instrumental player in the TowerGate situation. She is the one who recommended, I understand, that they seek FISA warrants. So she is an anti-Trumper, and I expect she is another one that pushes the Russian collusion story, Russia in the elections and all that. So they're still going with that. And also there's another related story that they're running on PBS, and it appears that there's a few journalists and Sidney Blumenthal, a Democratic senator, who are now in the process of trying to prepare Article 25 documents for hearings to impeach Donald Trump based on his association allegedly with the Russians, and it's tied to Michael Flynn. Apparently Blumenthal's committee tried to get documents about Michael Flynn for several weeks, and the Trump administration apparently is not coming forth with those documents for whatever reason, and they're using that to try to move on Article 25 impeachment hearings. This is really, again, nothing more than part of the operation being run out of the Obama mansion in Washington, D.C., with Valerie Jarrett running the show, which I told you about several weeks ago, that they have a plan to spend the next 4 years filing lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit and trying to go for impeachment hearings on everything they can. The idea is to continue to try and destroy Trump's presidency. That has not gone away. So that's kind of in the backdrop that's kind of percolating, and it will go nowhere. It's something that you can get headline news. Oh, there's Article 25 impeachment hearings going on against Trump. Even if it will produce absolutely nothing, just the fact that it will get daily headline news, journalists, so-called fake news journalists, will pick up on it, and they will, in their echo chamber, back and forth between each other, try to make this into a headline story. Trump's impeachment. This is all just part of it, folks. When you face off against the establishment, they drop everything they've got on you. And Trump's a good man. He's battling them the best he can, and so I guess we should support him until he gives us a reason not to. So anyway, that's where we are today in TowerGate. Another video coming up for you right now, and we'll talk a little bit about the hearings yesterday and my take on those hearings with James Comey in the Senate. Alrighty, so y'all take care. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning into my videos, comments, and all that kind of stuff, sharing the video. I do appreciate it. And I'll look forward to being back with you tomorrow on Friday, and we'll see what comes up next. Y'all take care. Bye.